preparing to live stream the meeting, says.
Like my fancy hat?
It's pretty sweet.
Okay.
It is live streaming the meeting. All right, everybody, welcome to the Blue Falcon Podcast on this. Sorry, I got distracted. Hi, Bobby Global, in my own TikTok. That's hilarious, Dylan. So I'm Bobby Steagall. Thank you very much for joining us here on this Memorial Day weekend in 2021. I'm joined with my friend from infantry, Mr. Colby McFadden himself, and also my friend from Chickasha, Oklahoma, Dylan Morgan, Marine veteran. And we have a lot of awesome things to talk about today. And so I just want to go ahead and give the stage to Colby. He's been really busy today with the American Legion and planting flags. I think 787 flags today. So thank you for that, man. And I'll let you take the floor.
So yeah, today at our main cemetery in town, we have currently, I discovered a few more that were unregistered, but we have a total of just over 787 veterans in this one cemetery alone. And there's a group of 3 ladies for the last 2 years that they on their own have been going out there and mapping these out and finding all the graves and ensuring that everybody's got a flag. They got their flags donated from Flags for the Fallen. So 1,000 flags donated, brand new on the stick. And we had pretty good turnout today, but still took a few hours to get through it. But it was a great event to be out there and for people to see us and show that nobody's sacrifice is forgotten. We're still remembering everybody. We're not going to let it go. We still remember the stories with the people and just the history. It was great walking around there. And we're finding Spanish-American War headstones.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
And some Confederate States of America and Republic of Texas even.
Wow.
There's a lot of history in this one particular cemetery.
And you're down there in by Dallas, Texas area,
yeah, we're
correct?
30 minutes out to Dallas. You know where Forney's at, Quinlan, all that area, because Forney's blowing up real quick.
Yeah.
Starting becoming another South Dallas or a South Colony area, Heartland area.
Yep. Yeah, that area is definitely growing a lot. Well, you joined the American Legion after you got out of the military. What was your transition period like, and why'd you decide to go the route of the American Legion?
So when I first got out, it was not an easy transition for me. For about 5 years, I was on and off on the verge of homelessness, then ended up living in my truck. Got inpatient to Dallas VA, so that makes number 2 inpatient. Once was in while in, and then one of my friends ended up introducing me to the volunteer fire service.
Okay.
And so I jumped on that and immediately fell in love with it. It kind of filled that void that I had of serving and being with the team and having that mission. So it gave me a purpose again. And then I moved from Ladonia, moved out to Terrell, and my fire chief and several others were members of the Legion here. And they just straight up asked me, why haven't I put my application in? So I put my application in, and then first meeting I got voted on as vice commander and been running that position ever since. Okay. When I started, COVID just hit. So we were spending a lot of time. We had 53-foot trailers just full of donated food. We were handing out boxes at a line drive-through at a shopping center. We were handing out boxes of food to people in need. We went to Terrell State Mental Hospital and did a whole buffet and feed all the employees up there for all their extra hard work that they had to put in through this COVID period.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. You also said some awesome stuff about the American Legion earlier that I didn't know. Will you hit on that again for everybody who's listening?
So I'm guessing you're talking about we are national Congress. recognized. We were recognized congressionally in 1919, as well as we are recognized by the Attorney General of the Veteran Affairs. They have a class system on different VSOs and what kind of care and kind of preparations and involvement they can be directly involved with the VA and the veteran themselves.
Okay.
And we have full permission as the vice commander. My duties are to care for veterans' quality of life, make sure that everybody's okay. That's
right.
Fight the VA for them.
Right.
I've spent a lot of time fighting it on my own and learned the hard way, but that has allowed me to help other people navigate and get through some of those red tapes. And if I can't do it, I got access to a whole bunch of other people that can help with so many different specialized areas on benefits.
So if nothing else, you're the resource guy.
Yeah. Resource guy. And if you need somebody to sit there next to you in the middle of the night, I'm the one to call.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you sit there and you do that. I mean, that's good to know that there's somebody there that people can count on.
I agree. Unfortunately, I felt too many times there was nobody that I could count on, so I became the person to count on.
Well, I know for a fact that you can count on me and Dylan. We have both our phone numbers now.
100%. And dude, I'll be linking up with you too, because there's a lot of stuff. And hey, I'm right there with you, man. Fighting the VA is a big fight, and it's not easy doing it all on your own. So having other people there with you, like I just went through where I had to get some injections in my back, and I had to fight the VA. They didn't even want to give me an MRI, and it's turned out that I had 2 herniated discs. So it's just it's a crazy battle, dude.
You have to be your own advocate when you're dealing with the VA. You got to have that grit and that fight and that want to. I mean, it gets tiring. You get demotivated every time that you got to sit there on hold, get hung up on trying to schedule these appointments. And like you said, they don't want to do an MRI, but come to find out you actually had something wrong. When one doctor wants to not treat you, you demand another. If they don't want to do it, you demand another facility.
And here's what's great is I actually had a doctor's note from a board certified hospital that was I'll just say there was another main hospital in my town. I'm from Oklahoma City, so it was a main regional hospital there. I went through private insurance, went and on my wife's insurance, had a note from the doctor saying, "Hey, man, you need to go get an MRI. We're going to schedule you for an MRI." And then the VA, they actually came out and said, "Hey, I'll just let me just stop you right there. You're not going to get a VA. You're not going to get a MRI today. Best thing you're going to do is get an X-ray." And I was just like, okay, well, that's understandable. Well, not on my watch. It's not, because you know what? Hey, dude, it links with today, because you know what? The guys before us, hey, they're the reason we're here today, so we can advocate for our own brothers and sisters, because that's what we need to do.
Somebody fought for the rights, the benefits that we're able to get now. Even though it's still a challenge to get them, we can still get them. And there's still a lot that is owed to a lot of people that have currently served, that, like the burn pit cancers. As a firefighter, I know what arson can do to you, and the stuff that is in there. They would never allow to burn in the United States. EPA would be all over the grass. So for them to deny that it's causing cancer is just disgusting. It's like the Agent Orange all over again, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, you see guys coming home that are 26 to 30 years old and they've got cancer. Come on now. I mean, how is that not a red flag right there?
Yeah, and I'm sure it's not the nicotine.
Yeah.
Certainly not the cigarettes that I'm smoking.
Well, a lot of it. Hey, you know what? They used to pack us with Lucky Stripes, brothers. They used to give us Lucky Stripes back in the day. I mean, hey, it's all a big propaganda bullshit push. So
I know that's why I used to carry an extra carton of cigarettes in my ruck, so that way when people run out, I just jack up the price on a pack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's where you learn. That's where you learn Monopoly from.
There you go, and Skittles too. If you got the Skittles from the MREs.
Hey, I watched a brownie go for $50 in basic.
Yeah.
That's
most
crazy.
expensive brownie I ever saw.
Well, not the. Anyway, I'm gonna go there. Don't laugh. So, I will.
How many people showed up today to that thing?
Yeah, that's us. Thank you.
About 25 people. A lot of older people. I'm probably one of the youngest that do show up for these events in this town. I am one of the youngest members on our post. To be honest, we are kind of a dying post, and the reason they brought me on is to bring fresh blood and trying to keep it from being disbanded. So most of my people that I have in my post are older Vietnam era. I even got a World War II vet, and they're just brittle with health conditions. And then this whole COVID thing, a lot of them are, they're older, immune compromised, so they're actually kind of worried about it.
What do you say? What do you say to younger vets whenever the older generations try to get them to join up? I mean, how do you encourage the younger guys to want to be active? What's your motivation, man? What makes you click? And like, how can you express interest to those guys?
At first, I try to find what issues are they having when they're trying to fight for their disability? What personal battles are they dealing with? Which is usually a common thread that we all have to deal with more or less when it comes to like benefits issues in it, and just transitioning from service life to civilian life. And when you get that personal connection, you go, okay, yeah, so I see that you got this. This is where you become part of this family. I mean, you don't even have to be a Legionnaire part of them. If you're a veteran, we're serving you. We're serving your family. That means your grandparents, your kids, their kids. It doesn't matter. But I try to put it in the bond. It's that brotherhood that you had in your unit. Your post is those are your battle buddies. We're looking out for each other like we did in the day because nobody else looks out for us other than us.
Yeah.
So it's more of the camaraderie that I try to bring together. So with the American Legion, we have different subsects. We have our auxiliary for non-service members, Sons of Legions for like the children of veterans, and then we have the Legion Riders, which is a chapter I'm starting in the process of trying to get established here. It's our version of a motorcycle club.
Oh, okay.
And bringing in the motorcycles, I think, will help drive more interest in bringing a lot younger veterans in. And that's one of my biggest goals to do that, as well as I'm working with my fire department and other VSOs on kind of establishing a system to try to steer transitioning vets when they're coming out of service into, say, like fire service. Because I'm telling you, infantry, if you loved infantry, you can firefight.
Yeah.
You'd be damn good at it too.
I bet. And I think you kind of hit on something there that I'll share with you. The local Elks Lodge here in Knoxville, really, really awesome organization. I went there before COVID, like actually right before COVID hit last year, because they had a once a month, every Saturday, or every first Saturday of every month. Sorry, they had a veterans free breakfast, and we're not talking like cereal. We're talking full buffet, freshly cooked bacon, sausage, grits.
Make me hungry.
Gravy. I know, dude. It was awesome. And so, yeah, I was new here in Knoxville, and I was trying to find some social events to go to, and I went to it, and I was the youngest person there by at least 20 years. And I think that's something nationally that's kind of happening, right?
Yeah.
The older lodges and stuff aren't necessarily the hangout places.
What I've noticed is a lot of these, it's just this younger generation of serving something bigger, volunteering. If you're not getting an immediate reward, it seems like everybody would rather somebody else do the work, and they don't want to actually put in the effort. There's less volunteerism in people's minds nowadays. It seems like in a culture wise.
Well, nobody wants to help anybody because everybody's selfish and they only want to really benefit themselves.
Yeah, because like most people don't know, I got 30 days and I got to move out of my place because they're not renewing leases to renters, and I have no idea where I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a whole bunch of other issues, but I got my resources and all that. But that's what I tell people. I was like, everybody wants to be a victim, it seems like nowadays, instead of trying to be the solution.
And how do we become the solution? I mean, right now, how do we reach those solutions, and how do we get to those solutions?
I think it's pretty much you just got to find the weeds and the flowers in the weeds that are the ones that want to do something. Before I got involved with the Legion, I've always wanted to be a part of a veterans organization or something, trying to help out. And I had not a clue of what organizations or what they did, who to join. Just stumbled upon this one, and it just happened to be that platform to give me the soapbox to champion my missions. Like currently, I'm fighting the city of Terrell in order to get the key in order to maintain the Veterans Memorial, because we've been having issues with that for a while. One weekend, the flag was hanging upside down by one eyelet all weekend long. They ignored my calls until I told the public to start calling their elected officials, and I got the situation fixed.
Nice. So call to action, right?
Yep. But now I'm building proposals and all that to have them give us full authority over the Veterans Memorial Park, since they're letting it go to shambles. And we've donated a lot of money as a post. This was, of course, before I got on, but as a post, we donated a lot of money. Marine Corps leagues, a whole bunch of other volunteer groups put so much time and effort into this, and it's just terrible to see it go to waste.
Well, it's never a waste, man. I know you're helping people out. So, I mean, all that volunteerism, even if you only help one person, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, man, because it's infectious, brother. I mean, positive mental attitude. I mean, that's really what it's all about. Look, and the reason I say that is just because I've been at the lowest point in my life, man. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I haven't drank. My wife hasn't drank either in over 2.5 years. And
that's awesome. Congratulations, man.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. And Colby, man, it's really all about positive mental attitude and bringing each other up and making sure that we're there for each other, and really just telling each other that we love each other, and like, hey, things happen, but you're always going to get back up on your feet, and like, people are going to help you. What can we do in order to, help get you where you need to be?
I think the biggest issue that a lot of people have, or especially us, is we have problems actually admitting that, hey, we need help.
Yeah.
Because we are so taught to just figure it out, make something out of nothing. And it's sad, we're trying to never quit, but 22 a day, 23 a day, obviously we're failing somewhere. How come we can't ask for help, but we can quit? We need to change that mentality, I think, big time.
Yeah, and I think they're just a 22 a day. I think that statistic is bogus. I think there's a lot more than that. I think that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree, because I've had 2 failed attempts where my 1911 did not fire when it normally does.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work, man.
Yeah.
So, you can always call us.
Always.
All three of us have had those thoughts.
All of us have, yeah.
Yes, you're not alone there.
See, that's why I also try to take away the stigma of talking about it. I have no problem talking about it. I'm glad that I failed, and I'm able to still stand here and go, look, I made a stupid choice. I'm glad it didn't work, because look at all the things I would have missed out.
Exactly.
Everything's shitty at one time, but hey, there's always a little bit of sun between a rain cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that, bro.
It's I guess for me, whenever I had those thoughts, it's goes back to the purpose, like you said earlier, Colby, the purpose that you had when you felt when you're in the military, and the purpose of a greater good. Now, we all griped and moaned when we were in the military every day.
But there were those days you never change for the world.
Exactly. And I think when we get on the outside, we're griping and moaning, but we're not having that direction or that purpose. And so, where do we find that that purpose? Where do we find those goals? How do we not only have things we want to accomplish, but have that's kind of like where an officer comes into play. What are our objectives and checkpoints along the way to show us like, hey, we're here. Good job. Let's keep moving to the next checkpoint. You know what I mean?
Something to show you measurable progress.
No, thank you. Measurable progress. Thank you.
I agree. Sometimes I don't see it. And thankfully on my fire department, I got my training officer. He calls me, he goes, specialist. That's all he refers to me as. I'm a specialist or his grunt. And he was infantry, and then he went, they pulled him off of that to go be a firefighter for the Army since he was firefighter civilian wise.
Yeah.
But he's one of my biggest supports when I'm having bad days. He'll just look at me and he goes, listen here, specialist, you've done this. Nobody else has fucking done that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I have no reason to be upset.
And you're making a lot of progress.
We're the hardest on ourselves because we demand so much from ourselves because we are better than everybody else in our minds. Because
we are to a higher standard.
Yeah, we hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Yeah.
And we should.
Agreed. That was the biggest thing I had issues when I first got in the military. Like I'd look at civilians at Walmart wearing pajama pants and stuff. And I'm like, really? You can't put clothes on before you walk out the door. And still to this day, if you got belt loops on your pants and no belt, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Fix yourself.
But also, Colby, I'll be hard on you here. If you're gonna go around being upset about people at Walmart, you're gonna have a long life, man.
Well,
at some point we got to forgive stupid.
That went away.
Good. I know I have the same feelings whenever I see something, especially on social media. It's easy to get upset about stuff, especially when you're trying, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying, you're working your tail off, volunteering, and then you see somebody who's just lollygagging. It's like that guy in PT formation who's falling out. You're like, are you serious right now? Like, I'm sucking too, man. Pick up yourself.
We're all sucking together. Let's do it.
Exactly. Oh crap! I just missed somebody on my TikTok live who tried to go live with us. It's all right. Dylan, what are your thoughts on? Well, let me rephrase this question. Back in the day, there were Elks Lodges and the American Legions. It was pretty frequented by people in their 30s, right? Like it was kind of the go-to place.
Yeah, they all suits back then.
They all did what?
They were all. I've looked at the pictures from back then. They were all showing up in suits.
Yeah. At the Elks Lodge here in Knoxville, I was like, dang, like everybody's like dressed, to the nines. So, is that something that we need to try to fix or work towards to get people to show up to these events? Or B, do we need to try to change the dynamic of making it a social media friendly event, like virtual events, or what do you think, Dylan?
I mean, honestly, face to face is where it's always at. And I think that's where you can do the best good. And it's just like sales. The best thing is face to face. I mean, you thrive off that individual right next to you. And you were just kind of speaking about clubs. I think clubs are freaking awesome. Joining a club or being a part of one, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club.
We work with both of them here as well.
Yeah. The VFW, the American Legion. There's a whole bunch of different
Marine Corps League.
Yeah, Marine Corps League. I've gone to the Marine Corps birthday now twice with a couple of my guys here in Oklahoma, and it's pretty cool. We all smoke cigars afterwards, and I don't drink anymore, so I don't drink, but we used to get pretty trash there and have a pretty good time doing it too, because we're all Marines and it's great. But no, I think we need to push towards going back towards getting involvement into different type of societies and clubs and pushing involvement and reaching out to the younger generations and saying, hey, yeah, kind of get involved a little bit. Here's who we are, because, hey, you're supposed to know everybody's position and their jobs to the left and to the right of you. Just like you're the vice commander right now in Terrell, you should know your commander's position and all the positions around them, because something could happen at any time where you need to take those other people's positions.
And I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because that's kind of a situation that's going on right now. The actual commander, he's been in the fire service for ever since he got out of the Marine Corps. And he's actually going through right now. We've been hounding the VA. He's got throat cancer, most likely from the fire service. We're all at a 90% increase to get cancer now. It's part of the job. But his health is starting to take a turn where I think I'm going to be promoted to his position, because I'm fine and dandy.
All right.
I mean, I'll tell you, it's going to be big shoes to fill, but I know he's still going to be in my corner. But you're right. Everybody's got to be able to take over a position and be able to do it, because like my post, it's small. Half the times I feel like I'm a one-man post running, trying to get things done.
It sounds like you are, man. But you know what? I'm sure that will change.
Yeah. Well, what can you do to get those younger guys out? Like, I mean, instead of, because I mean, I think the motorcycle thing, dude, I think that's pretty bad to the bones.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think the biggest thing, and it's kind of what we talked about with our volunteer fire department, is when you get new people, you get younger, you want to create an environment that fosters them to take, I'm not just a member of a club. This is my club. This is like when I tell people that my post, it's my post. I don't ask permission. When I see something that needs to get done, I just do it. Mm-hmm. I want people to have that drive, that ownership of it. If they have that ownership, that true, this is my place, this is my group of people, that's when you're going to have the more motivated to come up, and you won't even have to ask them. They'll just come up with proposals going, hey, I got an idea, let's do this. And you'll be, yeah, that's good, let's go with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mentality, I think it needs to be adopted. And unfortunately, just like the fire service and some of these older groups, the old men, just like in the Army, they're stuck in their old ways. And so a lot of the newer guys and them kind of headbutt on cultural differences from old world and new world, which it can be divided. But when everybody has that sense of ownership, you're able to put that stuff aside and focus on what you're there for.
Would you say ownership, accountability kind of coincide same?
Oh yeah, they run right next, like one end. Because you can't.
Because I agree with you.
Call ownership of something if you're not even going to hold yourself accountable when you're wrong.
Hey, I agree, man. I agree 100%. No, and everything you said sounds good, dude. There's nothing wrong with anything, and I think you're right, because if you're a part of something, like I was a part of something pretty special, and I still am a part of something pretty special in the Marine Corps, Suicide Charlie. And, you know, we got to take ownership of all of our things.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't mean to cough there. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay.
Don't get choked up on us now.
No. I was going to say, yeah, man, it's all about holding yourself to a higher standard and just being a better person and being who you are and repping, you know, the person that you're supposed to be. And and just having accountability and holding yourself to a higher standard. And I think you're doing that right. So kudos to you, Colby.
Appreciate it. I kind of consider it like, you know how when you're always aware when you're wearing that uniform that you're representing, you got to put off that image. Well, 9 out of 10 times I'm wearing a department fire shirt or whatever, because I'm on call 24/7. So when I go out in public, even if I'm not wearing a fire shirt, I still conduct myself as if people can recognize me as a member of the fire department. So I have to be held at a higher standard, because the last thing I want them to do is call 911. I show up and they'd be like, oh, this is that jackass I saw at Walmart. I don't want him touching me or fighting fire at my house.
Right. Yeah. You don't. Well, I'll just say that if they saw me outside their house to save their house with a fire hose, they'd be very worried. So I know what you're saying there.
Oh, and find out every time we were fighting grass fires out there at Fort Hood on the ranges, they were putting us all in danger.
Oh, my
gosh. Doing it so wrong.
Well, I'm sure you're right about that. I do want to hit on it on this. What's on my mind. Actually, let me say one thing from Jay Arnold in the TikTok live stream. He says, thank you for being a first responder. And also he said that most people go to lodges for the cheap beer prices nowadays. It's like the camaraderie died away. And that made me think
it's 100% right. I've seen it with BFWs mainly.
Yeah. And I really got to work on my podcasting abilities here, my speech, but
yeah, you suck.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the honesty, Dylan.
You're welcome.
So there's two things I want to say now. On the first one, there's going to have to be a different atmosphere that we create these lodges and these places that we put time into, for the fact that the next generation isn't all about drinking, like it was back in the day. There's a lot more. It's a healthier culture, right? Here I am sitting down, drinking beer, smoking a cigarette, but
and I'm over here smoking pot.
Well, there you go. So
I'll keep my comment to myself because it's not legal here.
Yeah. So we have the realization that we have to bring more to the table than drinking buddies, because I think both of you will agree with me on this. We have enough drinking buddies, or smoking buddies, whatever you want to call them.
We have enough drinking buddies that we're all ignoring our issues when we need to be quit drinking and do it with those buddies sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes I think our drinking buddies have are handicapped on our own vices. That's coming from somebody with a drinking problem.
No, I'll agree with you. If you're trying to cut back down on drinking and partying and getting your life squared away, unfortunately, the last thing you want to do is the social atmosphere you have is one you walk into, and that's exactly what it is. I think we need more of a social atmosphere where you go to have fun
have fun sober.
Have fun sober, right?
And you know what? That's tough right now, because I'll be the first one to say that my wife and I we feel like we've been trapped at home almost. I mean, not because of COVID or not because of anything like that else, but we changed our habits. We've stopped drinking. We've stopped going out. I mean, we've started to save more money and started to be at home, but we've started to become hermits.
You're so used to, that's how you always did it. It's like a cigarette smoker when they quit, after a meal or they walk out and still want that. They still got that habit. So of course, when you socialize after years of always involving alcohol, of course, when you quit and you try to socialize, like, this ain't as fun.
It's like, where do I put my hands at?
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
That's why I spin fire.
Yeah.
You're a unique cat, Colby, and I've always loved that about you. I always love that about you.
Appreciate
Mr.
that.
McFadden. I will.
Bill hasn't seen it. He's got to add me on Facebook. I posted some videos of me spinning my fire staff. It was actually a great weekend hang out with my great cousin. I haven't seen since the day I got my DD-214, which is in 14. And so happens we both spin fire, which we never talked about until just recently. So we finally picked up and were like, hey, let's spin fire together.
Now we'll hold on and stop. What do you mean spin fire?
That's exactly what it means.
This staff has wicks on the end. I soak it with fuel, I light it on fire, and I spin it around my head and body.
Oh, okay.
I can also eat and breathe fire.
Okay, I want to see you eat fire right now.
Where's my Kevlar? I gotta make a wick to do it.
All right. If you can do it, I want to see it. I want to see it right now on the Blue Falcon Podcast.
This will be a first. This will be
Memorial
a first
Day
fire
weekend
show.
2021.
All right.
I'm down. I'm down.
This is for the veterans right now. I mean, this is what it's for.
I'll eat fire for veterans.
Hell, motherfucking yeah.
Shelly said, my girlfriend Shelly said she wants to see this.
See, this right here is what you want to see. And honestly, I think I want to see this.
This is pretty legit. I did not see this coming. This is a special treat.
This is a special treat. Like, I didn't see this coming at all. Like, I'm just.
So my favorite wicking material I like to use is Kevlar. An insert from an old IBA works perfect.
Okay.
No one needs to know where that came from. So for the record, no one heard that. You guys got it? Got it good.
Good.
All right.
What are you talking about? I found it in a dumpster.
Found
That's
it in
exactly
dumpster.
right. Don't care where you found it. I'm just trying to protect your life.
Look at this guy.
I saw the motorcycle.
It wasn't really a motorcycle.
Like a little mini dirt bike.
It was a mini motorcycle. It was a mini one.
I want one of those. Those look fun.
I mean, he's having a great time. Not sure where he's going. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be great.
Now, on live, can you make sure and I don't hold me or Bobby responsible if you get hurt?
Please do not try this at home. I am a professional when it comes to involvement with fire and fire effects.
There we go.
Thank you.
Disclaimer. Done.
I am a
But
certified.
I do want to hear you say you're not going to hold me
firefighter.
accountable.
You're not copying me.
You're not gonna hold me or Dylan accountable by continuing this live stream. There we go. By default.
If you do this on your own, that's because you're a dumbass and decided to do it on your own.
Yeah, but you're not going to hold me accountable
No.
if you get in trouble
Nah.
or you get hurt.
Well, when you play with fire, you kind of expect the risk. And if you don't, and if you get shocked that you got burned, well, maybe you shouldn't be playing with fire.
That's
Here it goes
true.
again. I'm
So
kinda
that
nervous
is just
now.
confirming right there. He did say, guys, you heard it right here, live on the Blue Falcon podcast, that he would not hold us accountable.
Oh gosh.
Dude, I like your friend.
I got a lot of great friends.
Yeah, you do.
I know we need to find one way to have a big reunion again. That'd be great.
Yeah, Teasley's doing a reunion like in person in June. I'm sure he sent you an invite. Check your Facebook.
No,
He mentioned you. Yeah. I guess technically we could have a Zoom call. That would just be so chaotic, but I could do it.
You can do it.
You can do it. Hey, Dylan, did you hear about them? I'm not sure if you watched last week's episode, but how they were making fun of me for being behind the computer, even though I shot expert and ran one of the highest TV PT scores.
No, I didn't hear it.
First sergeant's bitch. I was one of the few people who
Made
knew how to
first
use a
sergeant
computer.
driver, and then I lost that in a week. Thank you, Article 15.
Oh no.
I don't know how many times I became private. Fucking alcohol.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I got one for providing alcohol to a minor, which I didn't even buy it. It was McDaniel. I didn't even
I
buy
don't
it.
remember that.
I got charged with it because he was with me.
Mm.
And then the other, I was late formation and apparently still drunk from the night before because I failed the breathalyzer.
Yeah, if you're gonna show up drunk, you better be early.
Yeah, I was not early. That was my function. Sergeant Striker had to come pick me up.
Oh gosh, Striker. Dylan just had to see the fire breathing. Now I'm nervous. I'm like,
I
okay.
did. You know what? I've had to have Francisco Barone come pick me up one time because I was fucking drunk, passed out in my house on base in 801 housing. Like on base. Is it 901 housing or is it 801 housing? What is it?
I'm not sure.
I don't fucking know either. It's housing that when you're married, you get a fucking whatever stipend or whatnot.
Here's your house.
Polo.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess I was partying balls deep the night prior and golly, it was just hammered, shit fucked.
Every time somebody says hammered drunk, I imagine Talladega Nights
Huh.
It's like I'm just like hammered drunk, right? Front row, and Jesus is playing Leonard Skinner. All right, we almost ready?
Yeah.
Please don't rush this. Yeah, don't. This isn't any rush at all. So
Yeah, don't hurt yourself. I mean, and by the way, that was
Hey,
Bobby saying it, not me.
Hey, you just did it, you idiot.
What? Oh, hell yeah. Twice in a row.
We have to do a third time, but hey, speak. Colby, speak real fast if you can.
Yeah. Speak.
Okay.
Speak. Fire. Don't do this.
Nice. Woo. That's awesome. Fire breather. Yeah. Do you do Kevlar because it burns the longest?
Because Kevlar is inherently fire resistant. So when I soak, because I put fuel on it. So when I'm soaking it, what most people misconception when gases or liquids burn, they think the liquid's actually burning, which is false. It's actually breaking down and it's the vapors coming off of it that's burning. So when you got Kevlar, which is inherently fire resistant already, when you soak it in the fuel, you're burning more of that fuel than you are your actual wicking material. So your wicking and all that will last a whole lot longer and cause less damage on your props than using other materials.
Gotcha. Thanks for that tidbit of information.
Yeah, Dylan. So next time you're gonna breathe fire.
Kevlar.
Kevlar it is.
Kevlar fire extinguisher and a fire blanket.
Hell motherfucking yeah.
You never know. Safety first, then teamwork.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. So Dylan knows this much. I was a part of a frat in college. You're supposed to say fraternity to be respectful.
Frat God.
Well, why would I be respectful to a frat?
Well, when you're in the frat, you're supposed to say fraternity because it's the respectful way to say it. You're not supposed to say I'm in a frat.
No, it's pronounced infantry.
Well, so yeah, actually turned out the infantry is way. There's a lot of similarities in the fraternity and infantry with the military.
There's a lot of
similarities with organized sports and the military.
That too, yeah.
That's
why
fraternity I was in.
Football.
Sorry, go ahead, Colby.
That's why our unit kicked ass at football.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't get to play because I was on the desk, but.
Well, that's why OU kicks OSU and Texas ass every year in football.
So I'm going to go ahead and boot Dylan.
Boomer Sooner.
Having you. Back to the membership though, and the accountability and responsibility. I learned a lot from being in the fraternity at a young age that afterwards going to the military gave me a lot more hindsight on that time period. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is you're only going to have, I would say on a good day, 10 to 15% of any organization actually give a shit about it.
I see that. Yeah.
And you're only going to have 5% take leadership roles in it. Everyone else is there for a good time.
They're for a t-shirt.
They're there for what?
They're there for a t-shirt.
There for a t-shirt for, in college, it was for the, the intramural sports or the beer or, the one time I, would bring chicks or whatever to the parties. Kidding. It turned out.
Don't be mad.
I mean, I was just pretty good parties, but the lesson that was really hard for me to learn, and I probably still struggle with, is it's hard to make other people care about things as much as you do. And so finessing
Amen.
Whatever it is you're doing to where other people are interested in it, and make them, not make them volunteer, but have them do things that they don't realize they're actually helping.
No, I understand that whole when you love something so much and other people don't.
Yeah, I mean, just think about. I just now had a brand new baby. I mean, my son is 4 months
congrats.
old, literally. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. He's in the 96th percentile for height. He's in the 86th percentile for his head, and the 84th for weight. So he's a pretty big boy, man. And it's tough. Like whenever I'm a grown man, all right, and whenever I leave him places, it's tough because they don't appreciate my son as much as I do. They don't love my son as much as I do. And even if it's my family member, even if it's my brother or my mother or my sister-in-law, still, like I know that they love him to death, but they don't love him like I do. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's tough. Like, fuck. Like people will never love or appreciate things the way that you do. So everybody's different, and that's just what I've come to find.
So how much money do you pay them to watch your kid? And first off, if you love your kid so much, why are you leaving him alone?
I cried. I cried the first time I left him alone.
Did you really?
I did.
I believe you.
I did.
I totally believe that.
I looked at my, and it was this week. It was this week. It was the very, I swear, dude. It was on Tuesday, and it was with my sister-in-law, Melissa. And I looked at her, and I was like, I couldn't let him go. I was like, no, I started crying. My niece and nephew were there, and they were like, you know, they were kind of looking at me, and they were like, why is Uncle Dylan crying? You know, one's 14 and one's 11. You know, they both know. And Colby, I'm a combat vet, man. I've done 3 combat deployments, 2 to Iraq and 1 to Afghanistan, as an infantryman, just like yourself. So, hey, kudos to you. Thanks for your service, brother. And they're like, you know, why is Uncle Dylan crying? They just didn't understand. And that's because I'm literally sitting there bawling. My emotions are going from A to Z, out the window, up and down, because I'm taking all the medication that the VA is giving me, that they're fucking forcing me to take. They're making me take. I'm on every single thing. My testosterone is the lowest it's ever been in its entire life. And that's what's making me cry, is my chemical imbalance. You know, and like, I'm so fucked. And
the VA, I don't disagree with meds. I just disagree with how they go about it, because I'm someone that I want to do the hard work. I want to be sitting there with a counselor or somebody, and like, you got to have accountability. That includes in ourselves. You got to admit to yourself, okay, I got these issues. I got to recognize, address them, and deal with them. And medication, they ain't going to do it. And unfortunately, you're right. The VA just wants to dump it on people, and then it brings their quality of life down.
Yeah, they just want to check the fucking box. That's all they want to do. They want to check the box with this person.
Well, let's go back to what we talked about earlier. Nobody cares about you.
Nobody's going to take care of yourself like yourself.
Yeah.
I heard that from an old guy at the VA once.
I have to, not so much anymore, luckily, because I got the my own off-campus doctor, thanks to President Trump. But
thank you.
No, I'm stuck on VA.
Well, I mean, I go to the VA for some stuff, but they it's difficult for me to rip on the VA sometimes, because I do know people who put their heart and soul into that place.
Oh, I know providers,
you know what I mean?
that they want it, but as a whole, and you have to fight until you find those good people. That's why I tell people, do not give up on the VA. You got to just, there's somebody there. If you can get in contact with them, it'll make a world of difference. That's the key.
No, I'm with you, and Bobby, I know exactly what you mean too. There's a handful of people that do put their heart and soul into it, but they even know themselves, like, hey man, it's a monster, it's a beast, it's out of control.
That's the only medical care I got, and I still go there.
It's not going to fix itself, you know.
Yep.
But discussions like this can help lead to change of it being fixed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yep. And organizations like yours, like the
American Legion.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, most people don't know the Legion, but when you call up to any VA and you go, "Hi, I'm with the American Legion," oh boy, do they step in line real quick. It's kind of nice.
Hey, dude, that's why I'm gonna contact you after we get off the phone because I'm going through my personal stuff, dude, and I'm gonna see maybe if you can get me in contact with some people up here in Oklahoma because I'm your next door neighbor. You know, I'm just
sure.
I'm just up north from you, so I'd be thankful, man. I'd be humbly blessed if I could get you to help me point me in the right direction, you know, on a couple of things for the
That's
VA.
my job. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm here for.
Well, yeah, that's perfect, man.
Help me help you so I can help myself.
Hey, absolutely, brother.
It's a beautiful circle.
Unlike most people, like you said, I was infantry, but I never actually deployed. Had my foot crushed, and then a whole bunch of other drama went in towards the end of my service. Kind of nasty break at the end. Hindsight, now I know what it all was and recognize it for what it is, but that's the one issue I do kind of have when I'm trying to do veteran service organizations, especially when you are infantry and you're talking to combat vets and they're like, "Wait, you never deployed?"
Yeah.
And then they kind of almost discredit you. You're like, "Oh, you're
Who
cherry."
does? Who?
Yeah, who does?
Combat vets. Because you're cherry. They're like, "Well, you can't relate to me." It's like, you don't think I got plenty of fucking brothers and everybody that call me on a regular basis?
Colby, I'll tell you, anybody who gives you that kind of attitude doesn't want help, or doesn't actually respect you the way they should. And
No
Dylan,
shit.
you're a combat vet, so you speak on this. I'm not.
Dude, I mean, I literally just now said myself, like, hey, thank you. I'm humbly asking. I fucking humbly asked for your help, brother. So if
And that's a
anybody,
sign for asking for help. More people need to do that.
yeah, and you know what? Fuck those guys who sit there and try to discredit you, man. But you know what? But fuck the other guys who sit there and, you know, don't even talk to you, though. You know, those are the real guys that need the help, the ones that don't even come over and say anything. But but dude, don't let those assholes fucking, because honestly, if they really are true badass combat warriors, silent professionalism.
Hey, that's all right. Because I know when I'm driving by my fire truck, they're looking at me going, "Oh, that's a badass."
Yeah. Exactly.
But and Dylan hit on something really, really. Well, I'm gonna double tap it. I've talked to a lot of badass people on this podcast. Some serious killers. And I've also met their friends. And I was, I lived with a Green Beret for 3 years when I was in EOD. Not once have any of these individuals who have numerous lives on their hands, or taken lives, ever questioned my loyalty or my dedication to my country, or brought up how much cooler they were than me because they deployed. They looked at me like, "Be glad you didn't have to do what I had to do."
I've had several people that tell me, don't be upset that you didn't go. They understand why it bothered me, because we went through basic with most of these guys, and then we spent all that time together in the unit, and boom, everybody's going, and I'm still in a walking boot, and they expect me to clean toilets. Fuck that. But I'm gonna go with my guys. But yeah, the whole you should be thankful that you didn't have to go is something I have heard. On the contrary, from other combat vets, is, "No, man, that's a blessing. Maybe you weren't supposed to go."
That's what I've heard from several vets, and Dylan's one of those vets himself. I think one time I opened up to Dylan saying how shitty I felt for not deploying. He ripped me a new one, I'm pretty sure. If my memory, if my memory is correct.
I think I called you a cocksucker motherfucker.
That was the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of other things in there, but yeah, dude, fuck that. No, both of you guys. I mean, Bobby, I love you to death, but no, I mean, fuck that. You are so blessed, and you should be thinking about it too, Colby. I mean, think about how blessed you are. I mean, if you look down at yourself right now, hey, you had a 1911 that clicked, man. That's a blessing right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bobby, you if you look down right now, you're holding a cigarette with all 5 fingers.
Yep.
You know, if you look down right now, Colby, you look at the ground, you're looking at two perfectly fine legs. You still have. A lot of people don't have them. You know what I mean? So maybe that is a blessing. You got to think of it like that. I mean, and maybe you got PTSD right now. Maybe you do. Maybe Bobby does from the things that you guys have seen without having fucking deployed. Now just multiply that by 50. You know, I mean, I've seen a pure execution where a guy had been shot execution style like 36 fucking times in his body. And you know what? I'm glad that none of you guys have had to see that before because that's rough.
The way you said that, it makes me, it's almost, I'm just having an epiphany. I relate to the fire service similar to that. There's a lot that I see and do that I would never want anybody else to have to see. That's why I say, let me do it. And a lot of everything from the infantry and the Army has transferred over and made me, I didn't start off at the bottom. I was way up here and then I'm going up from when I started. I mean, I had one call where we pull up, you can hear the guy screaming, the engine compartment's on fire. I don't even put an air pack on. I grab the hose by the time we get it charged and the car is fully involved and he's no longer screaming. And I got second degree burns on my arms because I was trying to pull them out.
Yeah. I mean, we're a different breed.
That's every day.
Yeah. I mean, and dude, like you're a firefighter. I'm not a firefighter, you know, like, dude, no, I think that my badass ran out whenever I got out of the Marine Corps. Like now I'm the biggest pussy. What'd you say?
What? I'll fight you. I said that's not true. Please don't hurt me. You don't know where I live.
No, for real, I'll cut you.
For real, I'm on my way.
No, yeah. Actually, you know that bike that drove back behind you? That was me.
If I ever saw you on a bike like that, I would kick it over.
I would rightfully so let you.
I would throw my iPad at you and you would catch it and fall.
Yeah. No. But no, man. But there's just a caveat off of everything. Colby, don't ever let anybody, you know, ever try to talk down to you for your service because, man, no, you're a great person. Hey, you volunteered. Hey, man, you already outbeat 97% of the population. You know what I mean? Being infantry, that's 1%. You're 1% of the population in the entire there. I got it.
Yeah,
you're on a rant.
Okay,
too,
shit. Yeah, you're 1% in the entire population. So I mean, you're a special breed, man. You're a special breed. You're from a special organization. Not everybody can hack the Army. Not everybody can hack the infantry. All right. So fuck everybody else when they're noisy. You know what? I've met guys who were gunnery sergeants, you know, who had never deployed before. And you know what? That's one thing because they were in for 16 years because maybe they tried not to deploy. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't worry about those guys, man, because some guys are ribbon chasers and they just do it for all the glory. And other guys, they just do it because they're crazy. I think I did it because I was patriotic.
That's because you're patriotically crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my country.
Correct.
For my country. God bless America. Amen.
Hey, Shelly, will you get my outfit that I bought today, please, and bring that out here? I want to show them my American outfit.
Please tell me it's a bald eagle penis outfit.
Oh,
no,
I was hoping it was those
I already have a tattoo for that.
Silkies. Those short red, white, and blue silkies.
You might be onto something.
Oh.
Or maybe a bald eagle thong.
Thong with an eagle. Well, it depends on which. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop this before I get to any more details.
I mean, you have had a Michelob Ultra, so you are getting frisky.
Dang it! You know me too well.
Yes, sir, I do. How many have you had now? Is that 2 or just 1?
That's 5. No, 2.
I'm on 3.
He's half drunk.
No, I've only had 2.
Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you want to do it? Here, just keep doing.
It depends.
No, it's not depends.
Oh. No, I said it depends on how you want to do it.
Okay.
I was gonna say depends for incontinent problems.
Okay, we got the socks.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah.
I needed those today.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, no kidding. You did any of those today.
Oh, we'll show those last. You got the tank top.
Oh, I like that. I like that tank top.
USA, USA,
USA, USA. Woo, woo, woo.
And then as requested by Colby, the Silkies.
Very nice.
Look, he read my mind. It got him before I even said to get him.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Great minds think alike. Thanks, babe. And shoes.
I need
The shoes actually match.
I need to organize a silky run, and y'all come out and join it.
Yeah,
Silky
dude. I
run,
mean,
dude.
I'm telling you, that's
That'd be
something
kinda
that
fun.
that's something that might, have a younger generations come out. Dude, have like a weightlifting night or
Oh, that's a
weightlifting.
good idea. I never thought about doing something like
CrossFit.
a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah, like a bodybuilding competition. Like, hey,
Strongman.
you think you're the strong ass motherfucker? Come on, outlift me, fool.
You're out
That's
there in
all right.
Texas, man. They got tractor pulls and stuff for that. So this is right up their alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the Marines at our Jubilee. They were out there recruiting, so I went over there, brought them a box of crayons, and I had to do more pull-ups than them. I only did it by 1.5, if you really want to count it. But the best part was I had to walk over there and give them some crayons. Ooh, I like those.
Right? Has USA all over them.
Oh, that is cool.
America.
Where'd you get those Asics?
No, these are I don't know how to pronounce the name of it. I don't think they were made in America, though, to be honest with you. But they were from Fleet Feet here in Knoxville.
Fleet Feet. Okay.
Fleet Feet. Yeah.
That sounds cute.
You guys want to go to Fleet Feet? I'll give you some
Fleet
silkies
Feet.
and maybe a little
Feet
tank
are on
top.
fleek.
Yeah.
You wash my tongue out with soap now.
Right. Thanks, babe.
But no, actually, I did do a run not too long ago. United Way, y'all know who they are, the big organization, volunteer. The Kaufman County one, that's my county. They did a veteran 5K.
Kaufman County?
Veterans Day. Yeah,
Okay.
sounded like that was familiar.
I'm familiar with Kaufman County.
All right, well, that's where I served. But they did a veteran 5K run on Veterans Day, so of course joined just to do it, and I was like, I'm going to finish it. I don't know what my time would be when I used to run 11-minute 2 miles. Shit, I finished second place.
Dang, dude.
Very nice.
Well, was there only 2 people?
No, actually, there was a bunch of people, and what y'all now I'm looking back at it, it was a bunch of young people that were involved in it.
Okay. So maybe there is something there.
So there were like 12, 15 years old.
There were different age group. There were the 12 to middle to high school age, and then the veteran groups, and then the seniors.
Nice.
I took second out of the veterans.
Very nice.
I was just happy to fucking finish. I was like, yeah, I've been running in 6 years.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not really sure I could do that. So good job. I've got to get back to shit. That's where those running shoes come into play. Try to get my my
Yoga. So despite all the hippie bullshit with it, yoga is actually very beneficial for your physical and your mental health. A lot of it's strength building, like planking almost, because you're holding your poses, but you're also stretching at the same time, which is increasing your flexibility, reducing the inflammation throughout your whole body, which is in turn creating less pain, aches, and all that, and creating more movement. Also because, well, just like working out, you got to focus on what you're doing, push yourself over it. Your mind is focused, so you stop diddle-daddling and all the distractions and the boo-hoos that we like to waller in sometimes, and it gets you out of it. And when you feel better physically, you feel better mentally.
That's definitely true.
That's true.
And I only learned that about yoga like a year ago when one of my friends she was like, hey, let's do it with me. And I guess. And I started to do it, and I was like, hey, man, I actually feel great.
It's not too bad.
It's isn't too bad. It's kind of like when they stick your finger in your butt. Oh, hey.
And Dylan would like this. We did stone yoga, so we get really stoned, then we do it.
There you go. That's what I would do.
Y'all know my family watches this, right?
Oh, sorry.
It's a natural plant from the ground.
Oh, that's the least of my concerns. Okay.
Okay,
I forgot to take care. Let me see if I can steer this conversation. Let me see if I can get a hold of this boat. All right. Let's go to Dylan. Dylan, I want to ask you because I do know that you've lost some of your best friends, and I imagine Memorial Day is very, very difficult for you. So if you'd like to share, I want to give you the floor to kind of say what's on your mind this weekend.
Thank you for that. I've actually lost quite a few. I was actually looking them up earlier, and I don't want to mispronounce these guys' names. So let me look this up.
I'll respond to some messages on TikTok. Yeah, Troy. Lost 13 in 1 year. Good grief, man.
Hey,
Troy, what branch were you in? For everyone who's watching on YouTube right now, I'm live streaming on TikTok. That's who I'm talking to.
So got Corporal Taylor Bain. And this is one of my personal best friends, Lance Corporal San Sin. I'll actually tell you a story about him. Lance Corporal Aaron Simons, First Lieutenant Ron Winchester, Sergeant James McLevine, Corporal Curtis Duarte, and Lance Corporal Anthony Batatello. Now a little bit, all those guys were with Suicide Charlie that I had mentioned, and it is tough for Memorial Day weekend because not only, and it's not really for veterans, it's for the people that we lost. That's who we really need to be thankful for, because those individuals are who we are thankful for. They're the reason that we are here today, and we can get up every single morning and lay our head to rest every single night, are because of these people. And I just named off a few, and that's just from 1-7 Suicide Charlie. When I was in Afghanistan, we lost 4 or 5 guys when we were there on a couple of different ops. But I'm really thankful for those guys. And, you know, we need to be thankful for each other, and we need to really stop and think about, you know, hey, even though, you know, we may be going through some things, hey, you know what? Those families, they're going through a lot. They lost a lot of family members, and they're not going to be with their loved ones these days. So, you know what? Stop and think about those families a little bit. Say a little prayer for those families, because it's going to be tough on them. They have to think about their loved ones every single day. And you know what? Their loved ones only get a day per government. No, man. I mean, just think about it. Be respectful towards them. If you see a gold star on somebody's door, you know, just know that, hey, somebody special lives there. That's kind of my thoughts on it. And dude, to tell you about just something real quick to tell you about my buddy Lance Corporal San Sim. His name was San Sim. He is Cambodian. Dude, hell of a good guy. He was no shit Cambodian. He lived right down the street from one of Metallica's like stage managers. So it was pretty cool, man. Like, I was a huge Metallica fan, and he was telling me all about, you know, how awesome it was living so close to them, and how they were always rocking out and stuff like that. But this guy, I'll just tell you a funny story. He one time said he came home from school one day and he was hungry, and he just looks out the window and looks over into his neighbor's yard, and there was a chicken there. And he goes over and he takes the chicken from his neighbor's yard and he just cooks it up. And he makes a fucking chicken. I mean, you got to think this dude's 100% from Cambodia. I mean, he sees a chicken and he sees food, brother. He's like,
Oh, look, I'm hungry. There's chicken.
There's a chicken, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat that chicken right now. And I was like, well, shit, man, how'd it taste? He's like, yeah, it's one of the best chickens I've ever had in my entire life. Oh yeah,
How did they make it?
This was.
Oh, what his neighbor or did he say how his neighbor reacted?
Man, I'm not really sure. We never really got down to it, but
Yeah, I feel like that was enough in a lot in that
Chicken?
story.
What chicken? We don't know nothing about a chicken.
yeah. But no, San Sim, I actually knew San, and he was my best friend. He was my roommate for a little bit. He met my wife, and I met his wife. And what's pretty sad about San is, you know, I've got survivor guilt with him, to where I have a hard time with him, is because, you know, he had a son, Donovan, who he never met before. So he never got to meet his son. And, you know, I got to meet my son. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm not drinking anymore, is because I put down that bottle to respect all the other veterans, because I was an asshole when I was drinking, and I was just a complete drunk. So that should be one reason right there, Colby, because we're all assholes when we drink, dude.
Yeah, we are.
No, I mean, I remember the day having to put him in the ground, fold the flag for him, and give it to his wife. And it was one of the hardest days of my entire life. And man, I don't want anybody else to have to go through that, because that was the toughest thing that I've ever had to do. And it was rough. And here I am, a grown man, you know, 34 years old, crying on YouTube Live, because that's just what I do. I mean,
You're not
partially,
crying, dude.
Hey, that shows how much of a man you are, that you're able to admit, hey,
these are emotions. These are emotions, and these are real. I mean, this is real right now. So I mean,
that's the one thing we learned about being in infantry. Everything is life and death. There's no in between. It's you kind of realize the reality of cut and dry.
Those are stuck points, white and black.
You know, you're going to be really important to his son's life at some point. I'm sure you know that. He's going to want to know what his dad was like.
And you got the story to tell him.
And if I were you, I would write those stories down or type them up or something, so that whenever he does call you and ask, you have something to go off of. You know what I mean, brother?
I've got his phone number, and I've never called him before. I've been too embarrassed. He's 17.
What are you too embarrassed about? I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about.
No. Give him a call sometime.
I'm sure he would love to hear from you and hear stories of his dad from his best friend. I know I would.
Yep.
That probably would give him closure he needs, and you.
Yeah, but I can't talk to him without crying, man, and I don't want to embarrass him. I don't want to.
Well, don't do it on YouTube Live.
Well, no shit. I won't do that.
Who knows? He may start crying too, and you all start crying together. And then nobody can be embarrassed.
Yeah,
you bond over it.
I mean, it is Sim's son. You know, I'm sure he's very similar to him. And if he was your best friend, and you guys had that kind of relationship, I'd find it very hard to believe that there's not some of him and his son, and there would not be an instant connection.
Yeah. No, for sure. He sang some Garth Brooks songs in his Cambodian tongue, but it still sounded like Garth Brooks.
No way.
I swear to God. like friends in low places, and a whole bunch of different songs, and like they would be in Cambodia, but they would sound still like the Garth Brooks songs.
Let him call out March.
Yeah, no kidding.
That'd be fun.
That's awesome, dude. Well, thank you for sharing that, Dylan. That was
Yeah.
man, I started crying.
Well, I didn't cry. I had something in my eye.
Sure. Okay.
I did in both eyes. There's still something there.
You're gonna have
but
my
it's okay.
fist in your eyes. That's what you're gonna have if you don't just admit that you made me cry. All right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And my eyes are wet right now.
Just admit it. I made you wet.
You made me wet.
Okay, I took it too far. I'm sorry.
This is the risk. I knew what I got into.
Don't win it all, eh? What do you expect?
Yeah.
But I
this
mean,
is
at
a
least you're
veteran
getting
podcast.
real, Bobby. You're getting real hardcore emotions, because that's the problem is every day nowadays is people aren't real with each other.
No, they don't want to hurt each other's feelings, even though it's maybe the most beneficial thing for them to hear.
You're right. You're right.
So when I have people on social media tell me I'm a douchebag, that I'm supposed to be able to hear that.
No, you should tell them to go fuck off.
Okay. Well, I disagree and say, yeah, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, tell them to come at me for crying too.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me hardcore. Like I said, I wasn't crying. It was dust.
I'll use my tears as food.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm not making a good image for myself.
No, you're doing great. When that's something I was going to hit on another point, but before I got to that one, I was going to say Memorial Day to me is really important, and not in the generic way, but almost not in the having you on, Dylan, and you sharing that story is why I love you and why I'm so glad I had you on today.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted this to be about.
Because those are the stories that really embrace what Memorial Day is about, not just for veterans, but for like you said, their families and everybody else that has to live with that. I mean, because all of us, we all said, yeah, we'll put our lives on the line. We all take that same risk. For us, it's almost more like we're honoring them and remembering that they paid that sacrifice, so we didn't have to. But these families they didn't make that decision. They had to live with the decision of their loved one. So they may not have that same kind of grass and closure we do as far as why'd I lose them. So you did hit a really big nail on the head that I don't think most people realize, that there's a acceptance difference between the two worlds, even though they are intermingled as one.
You're right. No, yeah, and thanks for catching that. I'm glad you did.
And you made this real, Dylan.
Well, I mean, because I'm real.
Oh, he's real for real. We have Colby, doing his volunteer work. And
Well, can I ask, what are you drinking, Colby?
Piss water, Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. Oh gosh, she's in Texas.
You got to be drinking that Cord Light. Them silver bullets.
Well, we have Colby volunteering, planting the flags, and doing a lot of great, amazing things for veterans to make sure they're not forgotten, at the cemetery. And Dylan, I appreciate you sharing your story, making sure that I believe you listed off 7 names, if I didn't.
Yeah.
If I got that right. And making it real. So thank you both for what you're doing this weekend. It's way better than posting a Happy Memorial Day picture with you at the lake shit-faced. You guys have really done something this weekend to me.
Well,
but that last one's good too. But
yeah.
Like I said, I love what you're doing with with your podcast. I mean, like last weekend, listening to you and Teasley go, I don't think I've laughed that legitimately hard in such a long time. It was such a relief to finally being away. It was nice. It was relieving.
Well, thanks, Colby. I appreciate that. And I saw you in the YouTube chat, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Colby McFadden's in here." That's awesome.
But and I appreciate you bringing us on here. Like, I mean, we were good. I love being able to talk with you and help you on with what you're doing. Ever since we all separated and doing our own thing, I love supporting and helping everybody else. But also, I love the fact that you've given both of us and other people a platform to get their views across. To get things that most people will probably never hear from them unless you're sitting there talking to them face to face. And people like Dylan's got those amazing stories of it's heartbreak, but at the end there's a lesson and triumph that can be taken from it that needs to be shared with other people who could be going through the same issues. You created a tool that's going to reach a lot of people.
Thank you, Colby.
Let's help them.
Yeah, you guys told you help me.
No, I'm saying like I tell people.
Oh yeah, tell people. Yeah. Well, the likes, subscribes, comments, questions, all that stuff really helps what we're doing here. And I've been at this for 3 years, and it's still amazing to me that I'm running into people from Dragon Troop that didn't even know I had a podcast until like 2 days ago. They want to be on now. And I'm like, how did you guys not know I had a podcast? And some of them I'm not friends with, on Facebook, and some of them, don't get on Facebook or whatever. So it's word of mouth. But Dylan and Colby, hopefully after you have time to reflect on being on the show. But Dylan, I'll call you out for this. When we talked afterwards, you said how much, not how much, but you said it helped a little bit. Psychologically getting your views out there and voicing your opinions. And I hope you still will back me up on that as I call you out.
No, I mean, I do 100%. I do. No, it felt relieving, honestly, when I came on initially the first time and the second time. It was really relieving to feel like I had a platform to be able to voice anything and everything that I wanted to. And it was great. I mean, and it's still great. Like it feels real. I feel relieved right now to who have said that. And I've never told anybody people that, and this is the first time I've ever said that openly. And including to my wife who's listening right now. And I think it's great, and I'm enjoying it. And I think, psychologically, I think it helps because it helps you realize and it helps you work through, and it shows you that, hey, you got stuck points. And once you hit those stuck points, you can maneuver and you can work around them. And the stuck points are, hey, it's black or white, or it's this or that. And it's all or nothing. And no, I'm serious.
No, I know you are. It's just,
and
I completely agree.
You've got to sit there and just work around them and work through them, and having a platform to do it. Thankfully, that you have created. I mean, that's great, man. I mean, it has made me feel more ambitious. Has made me feel more goal driven and wanting to get up and actually do things. And that's good, dude. I mean, I don't normally have that. And it's kind of like, it made me, I know I called you or texted you and I was like, dude, hey, I was listening to it and I was thinking, man, what if Miles is going to be listening? And, I meant that. And that's how I try to be clean today. And that's how I want, to be known and
just let me pause on that real fast. So the first time Dylan came on, he and we went on a banter for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was.
And oh, bro, Colby, it was we let some shit out.
But hey, real quick, I think that's another good point that he pointed out is, well, the first time he's admit that out loud, that story. Maybe it's the fact that we got a community of people that, you feel safe in talking to, and you can put it out there, man. That's what we need.
And so to hit on that even more, the next day I woke up and I was like, oof, I think I should probably take that off of YouTube. Like, because me and him went off on some stuff that, we don't really want. It's nothing that we wouldn't say again, but the way we said it in our emotions, it was just two guys talking.
Yeah,
and
we were being real,
being,
but we were a little too real.
but we're a little bit like, oh, you ever get in a fight with somebody that you agree with on so much? And you're like, I don't want everyone to see that agreement fight.
Yeah, like, oh, I agree that we were both there. Yes, yeah, okay, yeah. Take it off.
And so I texted him. I said, hey man, I think I'm gonna take that off. And he's like, I'm so glad, or vice versa, because I was thinking about your son, Dylan. I was like, I don't want Miles growing up and seeing a podcast of his dad being like, yeah, this mammer jammer and like 2 hours of that is like way too long. Like every now and then, being real is good. But this is a safe place, because if we live stream and anybody says some stuff that, is like, ugh, maybe that was a little too much, we can delete it, you know? But at the same time, this is a place, this isn't my podcast. I mean, I'm going to make all the money off of it once I go Joe Rogan with this bitch. But honestly, to me, if I was to die tomorrow, I hope somebody would pick up the flag and carry it. I consider this the veteran podcast for us, to where we can talk about whatever we want to. Like, this podcast will never have a theme. This is a no theme podcast.
Like my Legion.
Fair enough. No theme? Or what do you mean?
No, I mean, everybody's got to have that tool and outlet that best suits them. Mine is just going out in the streets, pulling people off the streets.
That's amazing, dude.
And that's
those
stories,
dude. Yeah. Yeah, share that story about the person you ran into the other day, if you will, Colby. When you first
the one with the bad leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was so originally I met him say 3 months prior to the initial phone call, when I realized something medically was wrong with him. I had my disabled plates on my car, and he happened to see me at Walmart parking lot, saw my plates, and when I was walking to my car, he pulled up next to me and he had his VA card out and everything. So I was like, okay, let's see what he has to say. I listened to his story and all that, gave him my info, told him who I was, and that I belonged to the Legion. And if he wants to adamantly, and I got to be careful with what kind of work and how much effort I put into some people, because I've been burned. I put so much work and effort while at fire school and A&M, trying to do all that and square these guys away, and then they piss it all away. They, like you said, the people that don't want help, they just want to be catered to. But this guy, 3 months later, he called me, told me he was broke down in the Walmart parking lot, 2 flats on one side. I jump in my truck and I drive out there. Like I said, I opened up, he rolled down his window. I'm an EMT. I've seen some nasty, gory. Normally I can keep my bearings and just swallow the gag. I had to walk away. It smelled like death. His leg was rotting away from a blood clot surgery. And the VA sent him back home to go live in his truck instead of keeping him there. So he got infected and festered like that for months. I do believe if I did not get him out of that truck and into the hospital, he would have died within that week. I had the city fire department. I had it coordinated with the ambulance service out here through their supervisor that they would take him straight to the VA. No ifs, ands, or buts. I had all his caseworker info. I got buddies who own a record service, so I had his truck picked up. They spent their time and money to get his truck up and running for me while I sat and fought with his caseworkers and all that. And now he took everything that we given him, and he's now at the point where he's almost on his own, where we can just let go of the leash completely and he can carry himself on his 2 feet. I mean, he's a 60-something-year-old veteran too. He's way older than me.
Right.
So for somebody like him, you could see almost a shame in his eyes when he's looking at me going, I need help. I'm here, brother. I got you.
Right. That's really big of you too, Colby. That's really big of you.
Huge, dude.
Yeah.
Huge.
Man. Well, I that's a great story to wrap this up on. I know Dylan has a kid to get to. It's probably almost dinner time there.
Yeah.
What I like to do at the end of each show is give each guest the platform for a few minutes to let out whatever you want to let out. And Dylan, I'll let you go first, and then Colby, and then I'll sign us off.
I'm gonna kind of end the show today on hey, it's Memorial Day. Just kind of be respectful to all the veterans out there. Don't sit there and thank us. It's not our day to be thanked. It's a day to be remembered, and it's a day to be remembering other veterans and those ones that have lost their lives. I mean, I know that you may want to say thank you, or if you don't know, today is not the day. I mean, it's not for thanking veterans. It's for thanking those veterans that have lost their lives. This is what Memorial Day is all about, and it's about honoring those and those who've actually given the sacrifices. So that's what I want to make sure everybody realizes is hey, Memorial Day is really for us to remember. And if you're a veteran out there, take the time to sit there and remember those guys because they did it for you. They love you. And they're the ones right now looking above you. Those angels right now are standing their watch at the gates right next to St. Peter, making sure that you guys are going to be on their way up. So make sure you take the time to give those guys a little nod. All right.
Thanks, Dylan.
I guess I'll kind of hit on what he's saying, but my biggest thing is with it being Memorial Day, this is the time that I know a lot of veterans, this is the one time a year they let themselves mourn the loss of their buddies, and then they carry on throughout the regular days. We lose everybody overseas, but like as I mentioned earlier, we need to remember about the people we're losing here at home. Somebody could be sitting alone this Monday by themselves, no battle buddies from their unit calling, and not have anybody to talk to and relate to. And we got to call and check up on each other, especially on days like these, because these are the days that we're hurting, and there's nobody else to really come for us other than us. Remember the ones that are falling, but also remember your buddies that are still here. They could be hurting and be the next Memorial Day. And that's an attitude I wish people would carry 24/7, not just on the holidays.
That's fair enough. More. Well, I will say this. I know two men who are picking up the flag right in front of me. So we can wish as much as we want to on other people, but the fact of the matter is you guys are doing what it takes to give to this community just simply by sharing your stories with everybody today. So thank you for that. And the positive message here is, I think, slowly but surely, as leaders such as yourselves step up to the plate, there will be more action. And it's just like anything else in the military. It's slow to get going, but once it's going, watch out, motherfuckers, because it's coming. Watch out. All right. Thanks, guys, so much for watching the Blue Falcon podcast. Colby, Dylan, love you guys.
Bobby,
Peace.
love you.
See y'all later.